Hello everyone and welcome to this series of webinars in the framework of the Families project. My name is Andrea Petru and I represent CitizensACT, a non-governmental organization established in Cyprus. We are one of the team members that manage the Erasmus Plus project Families, and this project addresses families and adult educators and is about switching to a more sustainable way of living. You may find more information in our website here, and also you can visit our YouTube channel where you may find series of podcasts relevant to our project goals. Previous webinar was about energy and water conservation strategies. In this webinar, we are exploring something different and something that touches all of our lives, how families can reconnect with nature together. We will share simple, practical ways to enjoy outdoors. We'll bring nature into our homes and turn these experiences into fun and educational moments for our children. A warm welcome once again, and thank you for joining EcoFamilies webinar. And let's start. As mentioned before, this is module 5 of this series of webinar, and it's about connecting families with nature. As you can see here, our subtopics are why nature matters, instilling eco-consciousness, establishing connection through everyday activities, books, media, and role models, and lastly, building a natural, loving community. So let's begin with the first one, which is why nature matters. When we talk about nature, many people imagine forests, mountains, lakes, and general places far away. But the truth is nature is our home and it's all around us. Every breath we take, every glass of water, every meal on our table comes from healthy ecosystems, and that's why we need to protect it. So connecting with nature is not just about leisure or going on a hike. It's about understanding that our lives basically depends on the healthy environment. And because of that, we also carry the responsibility to take care of it. So our children and our grandchildren and the generations next can benefit from it. On the next slide, as you can see, we will focus specifically on why this is especially important for children. Children today spend much less time outdoors than the previous generations. Many prefer digital screens rather than going out and play. But actually, research shows that nature gives children so many things and benefits. Examples include physical health, better mental health and well-being, more creativity, and studies found that children who grew up into nature, they even have stronger empathy for others. And I really love this quote, and I think it fits perfectly by Sir David Attenborough. If children grow up not knowing about nature and appreciating it, they will not understand it. And if they don't understand it, they won't protect it. And if they don't protect it, who will? And I think this says much. So now we are moving to the next topic, and actually it's about how do we raise children to become more eco-consciousness and become more eco-conscious adults. So let's talk about it. Eco-consciousness doesn't appear on its own. It has to be nature over time, and children watch what we do and they will follow our example. So how we talk about nature, how we treat it, we treat the ways, how we behave in our daily lifestyle, they will teach children a lot. One step to make eco-consciousness children is raising awareness. And when children understand that their choices have consequences, like how by using less water reproducing less weight can help and treat the environment, then they will start to be more responsible. This awareness also leads to empathy. They begin to realize that they share this planet with other living beings, and that's the foundation of sustainable habits, basically. Of course, awareness by its own is not enough. Children need to have role models and someone to follow. So parents and educators have a huge influence. When we consistently show eco-friendly behaviors, then we are teaching without words, basically. But conservations are equally important as well. We don't need to use a complicated language. Actually, it's better to use simple language in order for the children to understand. And for example, instead of saying climate change, we might say the earth is getting warmer. And that's why basically the summer will be hotter. Moving now to another topic, establishing connection through everyday activities. How do we make actually this practical in daily life? And the answer is by bringing nature into everyday routines. We don't need to live in the mountains or spend a whole week camping. Nature is right outside in our gardens, maybe in our balconies, in parks in the city. And frequent experiences like simply playing outside or climbing a tree, watching butterflies are what makes children comfortable in nature. And also another thing important is that these activities should involve the whole family. When we do things together, children not only connect with nature, but also strengthen their bonds with us and with other living beings. Here are a few simple examples. Watering the flowers is one of them. Planting seeds is another. Watching the seeds grow or observing pollinators that comes to the flowers to eat. And also one really simple one as well is picking fruits right from the tree. It helps children to see where food really comes from and teaches them to appreciate natural resources. All of these, of course, are small steps, but they create a strong foundation of valuing and respecting natural world. Moving to the next slide. Beyond the small everyday moments, we can also plan bigger family activities. This might be a hike in a local area, or a one-day camping trip, or even volunteer in a community garden. These experiences show children how to connect with natural resources, and at the same time, they build empathy. Another powerful way to teach children about nature is through sustainability in everyday life. For example, when we prepare meals, we can choose local or seasonal foods and explain why we are choosing these products. Or when we recycle or compost, we can involve children in that process and explain what happens and why we do it and why we want to, for example, reduce the waste. Even something as simple as using reusable bottle or reusable bag becomes a lesson for children. And children learn that our everyday choices matter. Moving on to another way that we can connect children with nature is by books, media, and role models. Stories are powerful, and especially for children. Children are shaped by the books they read, the shows they watch, and the people they interact. That's why books and media and role models play such an important role in building eco-consciousness children. And the right story or the documentary can spark light on them and wonder and be curious. So it's really important to show them good examples. And also the role model can inspire children to believe they too can make the difference. Here are some examples that we already discussed, but as said, documentaries that show incredible landscapes and animals often leave children amazed and curious. Also, books with positive messages about nature can be shared by any age. There are many books and for different ages, and they can give to children good examples. Also, the internet is part of our life, and the internet can also be a helpful tool, especially for older children, as they will know how to use them. They can get answers from the internet. For example, they can search why do bees matter or how trees clean the air, and in this way they will use the internet in a good way as well and learn about nature. And also the last point, scientists, environmentalists, and even local community leaders can also be role models. When children see that caring for nature is achievable and rewarding, they are more likely to be involved and care about it. So we are now moving to some activities again. One activity is simple, discuss and come up with potential role models you believe children should look up. Basically, you can make questions like who inspired them. Maybe it's someone famous like Jane Goodall, or maybe it's just a local activist who is planting trees. As children grow older, their friends and social groups become very important. That's why building a good community around nature is so important and powerful since young age. When caring for the environment is a shared activity, like for example, gardening together or joining a cleanup event, it becomes part of child's identity and child's involvement. They see that it's not just something their family does, but something that other values too. In addition, when families come together to protect the environment, the sense of responsibility becomes stronger, and children grow up feeling part of something meaningful and something big. Now, let's see our learning outcomes. To sum everything up, we have explored how families can nurture eco-consciousness in children, how everyday activities and sustainability choices can make a big difference, and how books, media, role models, and communities can support this journey. And most importantly, I would say we have seen the connecting with nature benefits not just the environment, but also the children's physical and mental well-being, and sorry about that, and their empathy and their future choices. So let's see how much you remember now, and we'll move on to a quick quiz. Here we have the first question. Why is connecting with nature important? A, it's likely to boost physical and mental health. B, it helps ensure a sustainable future by fostering responsibility. C, we rely on nature for essential resources. Or D, all of the above. And hopefully you will know by now through this webinar that the answer is D. We are moving to the second question. Which method is not recommended for instilling eco-consciousness? Showcase eco-friendly behavior consistently. Create teachable moments every time the opportunity arises to act sustainability. Use complex terminology to explain environmental concepts and challenges. D, encourage curiosity when children express their feelings about anything related. And the answer, as you can see, is C. And as we mentioned before, we prefer to explain everything in simple words. If we cannot do it through action, then simple words will work better for children. Moving to another question, the third one, what everyday activity is best for establishing connection with nature? A, gardening as a family, explore remote locations in the wilderness. C, buy fruit and vegetables from grocery store, or D, visit a local zoo. The first one is the correct answer, gardening as a family, because we are speaking about everyday activity, and even though the other choices are also correct, for everyday use and everyday activity, it's best to work on our gardens, on our balconies, everywhere we can find basically the nature easily. The fourth question is, what is the best medium for teaching young children about nature? A, unfettered internet access. B, children's books and bedtime stories. Lectures by expert scientists. And the last one, movies with subliminal messaging. And as we discussed, the answer is B, children's books and bedtime stories. It's something that you will do easily, and you can do it every day. And as we said, books, media, role models are really good choices and examples to actually bring connection with your children. The last question is, how can parents help in building a nature-loving community? And the first choice is, use age-appropriate language to explain environmental concepts and challenges. B, watch nature documentaries as a family. C, create family-friendly nature clubs, cleanup days, or outdoor classes. Or D, keep a positive attitude and hope for the best. And the correct answer is C. We can, of course, do the other ones as well, but in order for parents to build a nature-loving community, we need to work together and we need to do things together. And by doing simple activities that cleanup days or outdoor classes that many parents and people can join, will help to build this community. So thank you so much for watching this webinar. Please feel free to visit our website as mentioned before. You can find more materials and videos. And next webinar and the last will be on advocacy and community leadership. So you can move on and continue this webinar and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much.